And technically, I told you that there are limitations now. Limitations. What are the limitations? Important is so function overload overload signature must be void type. Overload signature must be void type. That means it cannot be number or string or any another type. It must be void type. So we have limits of overloading now, which we can handle in a later stage by using the OOP concepts. Later stage by using the OOP concept. Now I need to implement the functionality. I need to implement the functionality and configure that. That means what we have to do is function. And I said demo is the function. And demo function. So we are defining the implementation. And in the implementation, very important here is once you are trying to configure the values, that means implementation. This is implementation. In implementation, so I am defining X and we need to configure any type, and Y, we need to configure any type. And for example, Y refers to number. So, and it is an optional, then we have to put a question mark for optional. And here the return type should be void and we need to define the functionality. That means you are implementing this demo function. And in that you are asking that pass to values. And the first value will be stored into this yes string. Second value will be stored into this n string. And remember, as per the sequential order, already we discussed that. So here there cannot be so null type. Both can be null type. After null type, there cannot be this mandatory type. Am I right? In that case, we know that first one is mandatory and the second one is not mandatory. It is optional. That means the first overload is for accepting string, second overload for accepting string and number. So that means the second one, so it need to be configured and we are printing those values. That means console.log, we are printing the value of X, and console.log, we are printing the value of Y. I'm not using any condition. Is it defined or not? I'm not using any condition. Now see here, we are calling the demo function. In the demo function, we are just passing, so a string John, that is a string. And in the demo function, we are calling two options. One is John, and next one is some 30. Like this, we are configuring. This is valid now. That means now the demo function is configured with two functionalities. One, it can accept a string. Another one, it can accept the string and number. Suppose I am writing here demo, and I said 20. This is invalid. Already you know sequential issues will come. That means it is not a perfect overloading concept. So it is just a pseudo overloading that you can achieve by using the polymorphism technique. We will understand that. And initially, when I run this, you can see that we compile and run this. That means it is able to print. It is able to print those values, John and this, and you know it is printing this undefined because it is unable to print this Y. And you know the situation, how we can handle that already I told you. That means Y need to be printed only when it is not undefined. That means here I can write a condition like Y is equal to not equal to undefined. It is not equal to undefined, then it should print that Y value also. So that means now to avoid all these errors, we need to manage them, right? So that means we are writing demo.ts, open, run this. And here you can see it is printing John, it is printing John and 30. That means it is printing this value and this is printing these two values. So that means we are even verifying whether that the value has been entered or not. If not entered, then don't print. If entered, then print. So generally in other programming languages, this is not in this way. It is more better. So, but this is just pseudo overloading, and we have some rules for overloading in JavaScript based environment, right? This we can resolve up to certain extent and handle this perfectly by implementing the OOP concepts like polymorphism. That how we can handle. So this is a general example of overloads. And what are the rules of overloading in JavaScript? You have to strictly follow the rules. Otherwise, it cannot handle. Then there are so many limitations and gaps for this overloading. Technically, if anyone asks JavaScript or based environment support overloading means function overloading, yes, it supports, but it has certain issues, certain limits. This is what actually function overload. How we can overcome this, that's what we need to know by implementing the object-oriented features. That means inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, what are these? We need to understand. That we will see tomorrow, right? In the tomorrow session, we will discuss about the more OOP concepts now. That is, what is inheritance, what is polymorphism and all, right? This is all about functions, about the functions we discussed all this. And tomorrow we can discuss about the inheritance and polymorphism and abstraction like concepts in object-oriented programming, right? Tomorrow we'll continue with that. Thank you. Hope you are clear with the concepts. So have any doubts or issues related to this? So if you have doubt related to more concept about overloading and all, you will come to know about them at the next level once we start discussing about the concept of polymorphism and all, you will understand about that. Node.js not there, Node.js classes not there yet, right? I'm not dealing with any Node.js sessions. Okay, fine. All are clear with the concepts. We will meet tomorrow, right? Thank you.